Alright, so before I even start this video on this particular topic about finding your inner circle, I want to let you guys know that I stumbled across a pair of 2011 white cement 3s that are in desperate need of a restoration. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself like, yo, it's been a minute since I've done like a proper restoration video. I think like over a year. So I think a restoration video is in the works. And it's my size too, so they'll probably be on foot shots. Yeah. Alright, so the topic of this video today is going to be about finding your inner circle, and I'm going to give you guys a couple of little things that you can do in order to kind of fast track it. Now, it's easy, but it's not easy. Like, I've got to make this very clear. It's going to sound like it's a super easy thing, but actually applying it is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So if you're the type of person who, within their friend circle, finds yourself being like the odd one out, this is for you. So one of the things that you can do in order to determine who can actually be within your inner circle, talking to you about all of that like really sensitive shit that you don't want to talk about to other people outside, is just be honest with how you're feeling. Anyone that asks you how you're feeling, like you go to your local cafe and you walk up to the barista and they ask you how your day's going, just be honest. If you're having a good day, let them know. If you're not having a good day, also let them know. You don't need to go into detail as to why you're having a bad day, but that person's reaction to whatever it is that you're saying is actually showing you where you can and cannot place this person within your own life. If you tell them that you're having a bad day and they embrace it and like they show that they care, that's showing you that there's people outside that care for no reason. And those are the types of people that you want to start attracting into your life. The more people that you find outside who care without any reason whatsoever, you're gonna start feeling more safe. And when you start feeling more safe, you're gonna feel like you can actually be yourself. And when you're being yourself and you're actually being authentic to who you are, that's when the magic of this world really starts to open up. So that's the first one. Anyone who asks you how you're doing, be straightforward with whatever it is that you're feeling in that moment. You might not get the opportunity to explain it, you might not get the opportunity to talk about it, but you're being honest with yourself. That's the most important thing, because then you're gonna start attracting more people who are also honest with themselves. And those people are very important. Those people are very important to have around you. And now the second thing, that first one was easy. Like, you can tell anyone on earth how you're really feeling. It's not that hard. This second one though, it's not so easy. It's going to require a lot of like inner strength, if I'm being 100% honest with you. And truthfully, it's just to like literally shut your mouth, just go quiet, be silent. Now this is really easy to do if you're going through some tough shit, but just remember that you can do this just for the sake of doing it if you want to. It's just, in my opinion, a little bit weird if you're just like everything's fine and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna stop talking to everyone. Yeah, it's not gonna make it easier either, to be totally honest with you. So it's always easiest to do it after you've gone through some bad shit. Now this should not be used as a game or a tactic to figure out who is actually there for you. Like, you should actually be using this time to be properly working on yourself. You shouldn't be focused on anything outside of you. Like, especially if you've gone silent and you've communicated that to the people that are around you in that current moment. Like, now's not the time to be focusing on what they're doing or what they're not doing. Now is the time for you to be focusing on what you're thinking. You want to gain control of your thought patterns during this time so you can break whatever cycle it is that you keep on getting to the end to, just to be beaten down into the ground because you were not being true to yourself. But ultimately, like I said, this is not to determine specifically who can and can't come into your life. It just tends to be a symptom of the larger picture. Now, when you get to the end of these hard times that you go through, instead of actually like sitting back and going, this person wasn't there for me, or that person was kind of there for me, you should really take a moment to more or less recognize and give yourself credit that you got through this hard time with whatever resources you had available to you at the time. Did a lot of people show up? Did some people show up? Did no one show up? Simply put, whatever or whoever showed up should be more of an indication of what you actually need in this current moment of your life to get through hard times. If no one showed up, now is not the time to be pointing fingers. Like, now is the time for you to be recognizing your strength. Now is the time for you to be realizing that you can get through anything by yourself. There's power in this. There's like massive power in this, especially when it starts reflecting outwards and people are just knowing that you don't need for anything from anyone. You'll also get to the end of these moments realizing what it is that you want in your life, because please take a moment to really step back and understand that wants and needs are two totally separate things. One of those things should be non-negotiable in my opinions, because your needs are also your boundaries. And every human being, in my opinion, on Earth should have somewhat of an understanding of what they will and will not tolerate. Now, I could go into the way that your thought process actually attracted everything or nothing or whatever it was that you did or didn't get during these hard times, but I do want to keep it a little bit simple before we actually hit full throttle on the spiritual side of these things, because it's all connected. Like, it's fucked up, actually. And if you're more of a materialistic person, then the words that I speak probably don't resonate with you. One day they will. But right now they probably don't. And that's also why I don't go into the spiritual side of things. I understand that I've got a vast audience here on YouTube, and I don't want to just corner one group of people when a lot of people are listening to what I have to say right now. So I'm not going to touch down too much on the spiritual side of things, just keep this as simple as I can. But back to the actual topic at hand. Once you've done that, like the whole like go silent thing, really like focus on yourself, understanding your thoughts, understanding your triggers, you're gonna do one of two things, and it really just depends on the type of person that you are. You're either gonna burn bridges, or you're just gonna stay on your side of the bridge. I personally would always recommend staying on your side of the bridge. I do cut people out of my life, but I try my hardest not to burn that bridge. Now, you could approach it as an aggressor and let all of your friends know where they didn't show up for you, or you can realize that not anyone on Earth actually owes you a thing, and you spent that time being silent, focusing more on what everyone was not doing for you, as opposed to figuring out why you're going through this in the first place. It's your fault. Here we are again. It's your fault. Now for me, I tend to operate from a source of love. So when I go silent and I'm going through some stuff and I feel like no one out there can really help me get through what I need to get through myself, I tend to reach out to all my connections to let them know that I'm going to be taking some space. And yeah, like I see who reaches out to me and who hits me up and who checks in on me and stuff like that, but that's not my main focus. I'm taking this time to be quiet for a reason. I'm not taking this time to be quiet to stick it to any one individual. Like I really need to figure some shit out. Like, and if people around me want to check in, cool. If not, cool. Like I'm easy. But when I step out of that hardship, that hard time that I was going through, it's very easy for me to determine like which conversations I can pick back up and which ones I just kind of leave where I left it however many days ago, however many weeks ago, however many months ago. I decided that I needed to be silent. Now when I do reach out to them, if I do reach out to them, I'm not going to be attacking them. There's no reason to attack them. No one on Earth has to show up for you. No one. The only one who's obligated to show up for you is fucking you. And like, don't lose sight of that. Don't project that onto anyone around you. It's like, I don't even want to use the word toxic. It's just annoying. Like, it's fucking annoying. If I'm being honest. Like we're not here to adopt anyone's feelings outside of our own. When you do that, ooh, you want to talk about a tower moment? Yeah. Take people's feelings that aren't your own on board as your own. I promise you, you're defeated. But yeah, off track again. Oh my god, I'm not good at staying on topic. Now once I've done that, and I've reached out to them and stuff like that, like I just leave it. I let them know that there were lessons that I learned here, that they're responsible for some of the lessons, and I tend to thank them. Like even knowing that there's a chance that I'll never talk to that person again. Thank you. Thank you so much for being a connection in my life at a time when I needed it, and also thank you for being that same connection when I thought that I needed it, and thank you for being that same connection the moment that I realized that I don't need it. Like the people that are outside triggering you, they're just the messenger. They're not actually what originally triggered you in the first place. So when like your friend of 5 years triggers something that happened to you 15 years ago, why do they cop that abuse? Don't be abusive towards them. Like it's best just to be vulnerable. Just talk about what it is that happened to you before that makes you act this way today. And like depending on the connection of the person that you're talking to, they'll either take it on board and like help you through it, or they won't. And both sides of that have to be okay with you, because you should really be understanding that your triggers are your own to manage, and anyone that wants to help you with them absolutely can, but there's no obligation whatsoever for anyone to even look your way when you're triggered. So if you take that time to be vulnerable about your triggers and where they come from, and they're receptive to it, then you have an opportunity to tell your story and also hear their story. Because we all have a story, and it's really about gaining that confidence to tell your story, so you can tell your story as many times as you need to, so you can fucking own it. So you can actually believe who it is that you say you are, so other people can start believing it. So pick your identity, fucking own that shit, and understand, anyone who disagrees with it just has not seen enough of the new story yet. But the ones that embrace it, the ones that embrace who you say that you are, maybe bring them in a little bit more. Because you'd be really surprised at how much about yourself you can uncover when you start talking to new people about old situations. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. That is the biggest tip that I can give in this video in relation to figuring out who does and does not belong in your circle. Vulnerability is the answer. You've got to be comfortable with just being honest with yourself and everyone around you 24/7. It's not a 23/6. It's literally like every single day. You should be being authentic to yourself. You shouldn't be lying to anyone about how you feel. All you do when you do that is you just bury it down into your stomach, and then chances are you're gonna take it out on someone who absolutely doesn't deserve it. So, do you wanna keep on taking shit out on people that don't deserve it? Or do you wanna take it within, understand it, and then present yourself out to the world as the beacon of light that you fucking know you are? Stop making it complicated. And I know, it's not gonna be easy to just go silent. Like if you're someone that actually thrives off of conversations with their friends, you actually like feed off of their energy, it's not gonna be easy. But then you should also be asking yourself, how long have I been friends with these people? Tough question, another tough question. How long have I been friends with these people? Like, it's a whole other video. I feel like I've already made a video on this topic. But long story short on that, if you've got like 15-year-old, 20-year-old friends, like friends that have been in your life for 15 to 20 years, and you're not making like progress to where you wanna go in life, you're with the wrong people. And that's where it gets hard. That's where it hurts. That's where the facade of tradition just falls right at your doorstep, and you start thinking that you need to do all these things to maintain something that everyone else said that you need to maintain. But you haven't had an original thought yourself for as long as you've been alive. So you go and you do that. And then you go another 5 years of no fucking progress. Assess your circle. Assess it. Be vulnerable with the people around you, and I promise you, it will fast track who does and does not belong within your space, who does and does not have access to you. And it will also determine what you want and also what you need. And that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for this video. If there's any confusion whatsoever, comment section down below, or hit me up on Instagram if you want. I don't really care, like, honestly. But I'm here to help anyone who wants it. So yeah, like I said at the beginning of all this, I have a 2011 pair of white cement 3s that are in desperate need of a restoration, and I feel like my subscribers are in desperate need of a restoration video, so that will be coming soon. And I don't really have much more to say about this topic. It's Saturday. It's like super nice outside, and I'm in this dingy warehouse recording a video. So I'm gonna go down by the harbor at Docklands, and I'm gonna edit this. I'll catch you guys in the next one.
My bros don't go guilty when they should, they're never owning up. I was closing up, you hold me down, you help me open up. Free my bros at the worst time. Nothing is for certain, they ain't shit that is worthwhile. I'm watching the flame burn. He built me up and brought me down, he's in the same.